step is, and I'm going to try and make this fast, is Xamarin Test Cloud. So we talked about all the good things that are coming in the new platform, or that are available in the new platform as of now. They were released in late 2015. So now let's look at Xamarin Test Cloud. We did have a session that was dedicated to how you set up UI tests in Test Cloud. Mark Artiega from Redbit delivered that presentation. George, my man, recorded it. It's on YouTube. So if you really want to know from start to finish how to use Xamarin Test Cloud, that's a great session. But today I'm just going to kind of go over some of the new stuff. So again, just to reiterate, why do we care about UI testing, device fragmentation, app complexity, all the different things, like when you're thinking about testing an app across multiple platforms, multiple devices, and all the different screens that you have to go through, and then languages that you're supporting, and all these things that you have to account for, UI testing can be impossible to do manually. So Xamarin Test Cloud, UI tests allow you to automate those tests. Okay? So let's cut to the chase. The UI tests that you design, you can run on a local simulator on a device. Those scripts will run locally. You can watch your device as it's going through the tests. It's pretty cool. But if you really want to target and understand if you're ready for release, you want to target the market, the best bet is to upload a test cloud, because then you have thousands of devices to access. You can select all the devices you want the test to run on. Once you pick your platform and the devices that you want to test, you kick off the test, and then you just leave it alone and go do something else. You will get an email when that test is completed, and it will tell you how many tests passed, or not how many tests passed, but how many devices the test passed on, and how many failed. And then you can go into the dashboard here, click on each one, and view more details about it. Memory usage, like the device configuration. You'll see screenshots at random steps if you've configured your UI test that way. So you can see every step of the way how the UI is going to look. And then you can zone in on devices that failed. See, why did it fail? What happened? And then address those problems. I ran through a test at my previous client site. I configured a UI test. It took me like a few minutes to put together. Uploaded it because I only had one thing I had to change, and it was on a UI, but it had to look good across multiple devices, multiple screen resolutions, and I didn't have time to pull out 20 different devices of a device cabinet and test those variations, because even if I did and they all looked good, that didn't mean anything, because there's thousands of devices out there. So I just went up to Test Cloud, pushed up the UI test, selected 114 devices, walked away, took my dog for a walk, came back, and saw the results of it. Showed the project manager, he was excited, ran through that test a couple more times because there were some devices that needed tweaking, where some of the layouts weren't that great. Had that test run again on the same 114 devices a couple more times until we were good as gold. If I tried to do that manually, that would have taken me 2 to 3 days. It was less than an hour, really, to run through a few times, that test a few times. It was pretty amazing. And after that, I was just pretty well convinced I can't live without Test Cloud, and I highly recommend it when I'm doing enterprise development for mobile apps, because there's no way you're going to be successful in the market otherwise.
Would there be some kind of an error report for the devices on which you had a failure?
You can get device logs, you can get the application logs off the device in Test Cloud. It's all available.
So that pointed you to
Stack traces.
how to tweak it, then, did it?
No, for me it was a simple layout issue of like the text wrapping incorrectly and font sizing and things like that.
Right.
So I just knew how to adjust the widths and the heights so that it looked good across all devices, because some still needed tweaking. And mine was a very simple scenario. But there's other cases where it's like, Bluetooth isn't available on the device, and we're showing a screen where we're like, we need to enable Bluetooth. Okay, well then it's not available, on that device, and then we know that those devices aren't supported, right? So there were some devices that we were getting that had other errors that were really strange, and we caught that as well. So it's kind of like in that testing, we found other things, and the project manager was thrilled about it. Absolutely loved it.
And it's included which license
With Xamarin Test Cloud, it's a separate subscription.
Yes.
When you get the Xamarin platform, you get 60 device hours a month, no matter what. So when you have a Xamarin subscription, you can use up to 60 hours, and you're not going to use a lot. I mean, if you're just testing something small. The problem is that if you are in an organization, in an enterprise where you're developing an enterprise level app, you are going to want a subscription. So they do have their pricing ranging from $99 a month, and then it goes up from there. And I think the $99 a month gives you an hour a day. So, which is, I think, is more than enough if you're targeting, like if you're focused.
How a day it's like for per device or
It's device time. So it's the time
so
that,
if you have like 100 devices at one minute, it's like
yeah, each one is a minute. That eats up 100 minutes, right? So yeah, so UI, Xamarin Test is integrated with, not the Xamarin Test Cloud, but UI tests are integrated with the platform. So you can say file, new project, and you can pick a UI test template that you want, and start scripting from there. And there's something new called the test recorder, which is pretty amazing. It's only available on the MacBook though. It's not available in Windows, but I will show you what it looks like and why it's pretty awesome. I'll just get to it, and we'll go back to the MacBook. So this is what test recorder looks like. Is that okay? Very unassuming. All you have to do is select a device. So I'm going to say I'll select my simulator. I could pick an Android simulator if I wanted to test an Android app. And then I'm going to select an app that I have open. So we'll say that Coffee Tip 1. That's the compiled app that's in the directory. So what it's going to do is it's going to launch the simulator that I've selected with that app open. Why does it look like that? Okay. There we go. Okay. Now, so I have this app. Oh, we started it. Awesome. Okay. There we go. That's more appropriate size. Okay, app's running. Awesome. As soon as the app is fully loaded, you'll notice the record button becomes enabled at this point. So I'm going to hit that record button, and then I'm going to do things on the UI. So you notice I hit, yeah, we're at Starbucks. Well, they don't deserve a tip. Okay. I'm going to pick a different type of coffee. I'm going to change the price, and then I'm going to reset. And at every step of the way, you can see that it's recording my actions, and it's recording it in the UI test script language, right? So this ends up being, these are the actions that UI test will recognize. That I've tapped, a certain view at a certain location or a certain index. I've tapped something, a label that has this drip coffee text in it. I've selected a different list item. So it goes through that. And prior to the test recorder, I had to open up a REPL command window, and I had to explore the environment through the command line and script these out myself. The REPL command window was fine. I mean, it has IntelliSense. It works really, really well. But I think this is a little bit, this kind of brings it to another level where it makes it a lot easier. So
Can
now,
you save that?
Yep. So now that I have it, scripted, notice that each item that has a camera image enabled means that after that step, it's going to take a screenshot. I can turn it off. I can be like, I don't want a screenshot at that step, and then I can just click on it and it won't take a screenshot at that step. But this I actually do. I'm like, okay, when the app first loads, I do want a screenshot. I don't need a screenshot just because I hit the one label. And then I'm going to export it. Here's my options. I can just copy the output. I can export it to a UI test class, so it will export it as a C# file. Everything that you see here, plus the screenshot code. So there'll be extra code that you don't see in this window here to enable enable the screenshots there. And then, or I can send it to Test Cloud. So I can just say, if I have a Test Cloud account, just right from the test recorder up to Test Cloud. But let's just say I export the UI test. My fun test. Okay. Great.
So you
No.
need the source code of the app to do this, I presume, right?
Do you need what?
Do you need the source code of the app to do this? Are you looking at the compiled code of the app?
It's actually running the compiled app in the simulator, and that's what it's using to understand which elements I'm affecting. I don't know why it's starting parallels just so I could view a text file. That's a bit ridiculous. Oh boy.
It does, yes.
Yeah, that's why it's a
But it will link
.cs
to-
file. Okay, so maybe I'll just open up Xamarin Studio and say file open. Dropbox. This cloud, my fun test. Okay, there we go. That's what it looks like. So it included some extra code. You can see, okay, whatever. So it included some extra code, as you can see. First, where I got my app bundle from, so it's actually the path to where the iOS app is. It created my class, and it marked up my setup and my test picture and my test method. So just the one test method. And here's where the screenshots were interspersed in there, based on that camera being enabled with the same, even though you didn't see it in the test recording window. And then from here, I can change it. I can add an assert at the end so that it, will pass or fail based on a condition, or I can add other actions in there if I want. It's just a good starting point. It kind of gets you a few steps ahead when you're and getting you familiar with how to reference your elements in the UI.
So after you save it, can you reload it again as a testing environment so you can redo these tests over and over as you're developing your app?
So you're saying in Xamarin Test Recorder to open up the file.
Yeah, open it up, let's replay it again and see what it does.
If I close Xamarin Test Recorder, I don't think there's a way to reload the file, but I can open a REPL command window. Yeah, there's no way to import something that's already been done. Yeah. But I'm sure that's coming. I mean, remember, this is a preview product, so it's
Okay.
fairly new, right? Before this, it was just command line. And I know that they're constantly going to be working on improvements. So I'm confident that as time passes, this product's going to mature. They've been very, very good. But this is a really good stepping stone. And the best part is I gave a Xamarin seminar not too long ago. And I was showing the REPL command line because that's all that was available. And someone in attendance at the seminar said, well, isn't there a way to just record the steps as you do it on the device or on a simulator? And I'm like, no, unfortunately, there's not. And a week later, Xamarin announced Xamarin Test Recorder. I'm like, so I just emailed the guy. I'm like, yeah, remember that question you asked? Here you go. Like, here you go. Like, it was just crazy. Like, they're on top of things, and they will constantly